Welcome to Global News at noon on Memories 96.5 FM, Oyo. First, the top stories. President Bola Tinubu unveils 2 trillion naira economy stabilization plan. Senate approve $5.8 billion Mambila power project. Nigeria wins right to host $5 billion African Energy Bank. On the foreign scene, Labour Party wins United Kingdom general election after 14 years of conservative rule. And in sports, Emiliano Martinez heroic sends Argentina into Copa America semi-final. Details of this and other stories coming up shortly. Of this hour, my name is Nyakno Albert, and now the news in full. President Bola Tinubu yesterday unveiled a 2 trillion naira accelerated stabilization and advancement plan targeted at reviving the economy in a record 6 months amid funding challenges. The president plan while inaugurating his Presidential Economic Coordination Council (PECC), drawn from different sectors of the society and the economy at the State House in Abuja. He had on March 27, 2024 announced the constitution of the PECC, which he personally chairs, with members drawn from the federal and subnational governments, the National Assembly, as well as the private sector. While speaking at the inauguration ceremony, President Tinubu recalled that he declared a state of emergency on food security and outlined plans to increase oil production, improve power generation, and leverage infrastructure development to boost agriculture. April 2024. Engineer Otserv noted that most of the flood incidents recorded so far were flash and urban floods resulting from high rainfall intensities of long duration and poor and blocked drainage systems. Before now, the minister had in April 2024 presented the 2024 Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency, which showed that 148 local government areas in 31 states fall within the high flood risk, while 249 local government areas fell within the moderate flood risk areas, with the remaining 377 local government areas falling within the low flood risk areas. And moving on, the Senate has resolved to probe the $5.8 billion Mambila hydroelectric power project located in Taraba State. Following a debate on a motion moved by Senator Manu Haruna representing Taraba Central and supported by 28 other senators, the Senate yesterday resolved to probe the circumstances surrounding the apparent failure of the plant to come on stream 7 years after the signing of the full contract. Amid Nigeria's current electricity supply challenges, senators said the Mambila plant could have gone a long way in addressing the power woes had it been executed for use by Nigerians. Planned to deliver 3,050 megawatts of power to the national grid, the project has suffered hiccups 7 years after the Federal Ministry of Power signed a full contract with a consortium of Chinese contractors comprising CGGC, SHC, and CGOC in 2017. Similarly, the Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) has launched 12 additional stations in Abuja and Lagos to ramp up efforts to ensure the penetration of compressed natural gas for powering vehicles nationwide. Speaking at the simultaneous inauguration of the facilities, the Group Chief Executive Officer of the NNPCL, Enquiry, stated that the government was determined to bring the use of the gas-powered vehicles closer to the Nigerian people. He declared that the CNG drive has since commenced and is irreversible, stressing that with the massive deployment of CNG stations nationwide, Nigerians will get a cleaner and cheaper source of energy. Carey also stated that with this in place, Nigerians will find it cheaper to fuel their cars, with CNG becoming an alternative to expensive petrol, which currently sells for over 900 naira per litre in some states in Nigeria. And after months of international engagement and strategizing, Nigeria yesterday finally won the right to host the $5 billion African Energy Bank, the first of its kind on the continent of Africa. Nigeria was granted the hosting rights for the bank at an extraordinary meeting of the Council of Ministers of the African Petroleum Producers Organization, APPO, the umbrella body for oil-producing nations in Africa. Described as a significant step for the continent's energy sector, the bank is expected to focus investment in oil and gas projects across the continent and is set to start operations later this year with an initial $5 billion authorized capital base. The bank, a partnership between Afrexim Bank and APPO, is meant to help plug a financial funding gap in Africa amid pressure on major banks from environmental groups to shift investment dollars away from climate-warming oil and gas projects. Reports indicate that each African member country will contribute a minimum of $83 million for a total of around $1.5 billion, while Afrexim Bank and APPO as founder members are expected to match the amount. The outstanding $2 billion will potentially be sourced from other investors, including Middle Eastern sovereign wealth funds. You're listening to Global News at noon on Memories 96.5 FM. More reports after the break. Do stay with us. Welcome back and thank you for staying tuned to Global News on Memories 96.5 FM. And now to the rest of the news on the foreign scene. In Mauritania, Coast Guards have recovered 89 bodies of migrants from a boat that capsized in the Atlantic Ocean on Monday. 9 people, including a 5-year-old girl, were rescued, but dozens more are missing. Survivors say the vessel, a traditional fishing boat, which set sail last week from the Senegalese-Gambian border area with 170 people on board, capsized off Mauritania's southwestern coast. Mauritania is a key transit point for migrants trying to reach Europe from West Africa, with thousands of boats departing from the country last year. And still on the foreign scene, Labour Party has won the United Kingdom general election and is heading for a landslide with results from more than 500 of the 650 parliamentary seats declared. Party leader Keir Starmer will be the next Prime Minister, promising cheering supporters at a victory rally in central London that change has begun. Britain's Prime Minister Rishi Sunak conceded defeat to the opposition Labour Party as voters in the UK general election delivered a devastating verdict on 14 years of Conservative rule. Sunak said he had called Starmer to congratulate him, adding that he took personal responsibility for the crushing defeat. An exit poll predicted that Labour would win 410 seats, while the Conservatives will drop to just 131 seats, a rejection of the ruling party by Britain's electorate that had been anticipated for months. In sports, Aston Villa goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez was a hero as Argentina booked their spot in the Copa America semi-finals with a 4-2 penalty shootout win over Ecuador yesterday. After a 1-0 draw in normal time, the match went straight to penalties and Argentina got off to the worst possible start when captain Lionel Messi saw his chipped effort hit the crossbar. Ecuador failed to take advantage, with Martinez saving their first 2 spot kicks from Angel Mena and Alan Minda. 15-time Copa America winners Argentina will now face either Canada or Venezuela in the semi-finals. And that's global news on Memories 96.5 FM. But before we go, let's take a recap of the top stories. In the news, you heard that President Bola Tinubu yesterday unveiled the 2 trillion naira accelerated stabilization and advancement plan targeted at reviving the economy in a record 6-month funding challenges. The Senate has resolved to approve the $5.8 billion Mambila hydroelectric power project located in Taraba State. You also heard that after months of international engagement and strategizing, Nigeria yesterday finally won the right to host the $5 billion African Energy Bank, the first of its kind on the continent of Africa. And on the foreign scene, Labour Party has won the United Kingdom general election and is heading for a landslide with results from more than 500 of the 650 parliamentary seats declared. In sports, after playing a 1-0 draw at regulation time, goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez became the hero as Argentina booked their spot in the Copa America semi-finals with a 4-2 penalty shootout win over Ecuador yesterday. The news this afternoon was edited by Mary Akban and assisted by the production team. For views regarding our news or coverage of your newsworthy events, you can reach us on email newsroom@memoriesmediang.com or call our Newsroom hotline on 0909 000 0581. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Memories965FM. And now let's take you down memory lane. On this day in 1962, Algeria officially gained its independence from France, which had declared the African country independent 2 days earlier. That's the news. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Nyakno Albert. Good afternoon.